everybody. So this is our weekly news thing that we're doing for 20 to 26 January. You might be able to hear some weird buzzing going on. There's I don't know. There's like a giant bee outside my house or something. I don't know. I'm afraid to go outside, so I don't want to find out. But anyway, we'll check out the news, I suppose, and hopefully the bees will move on. Okay, so this is following on from last week. This is from Eurogamer. Machinima pulls all YouTube videos, saying it has pivoted from distributing content on legacy channels. Fuck you. So last week, all the videos from Machinima, a fairly popular YouTube channel, just disappeared. Like years of work, like 7, 8, 9 years of work from Machinima from various different YouTube personalities are just gone overnight. But this is confirmation, basically, that it wasn't a glitch. It's all gone. Machinima's parent company, Otter Media. We are focused on creating new content with the Machinima team, which will be distributed on new channels to be announced in the coming months. Ugh. So, like, Machinima is still there, but its old Machinima channel isn't really happening anymore. This is more just partnering with more or less pre-existing channels. But yeah, confirmation that it wasn't a glitch. Anyway. Square Enix trademarks Octopath Traveler's HD 2D phrase in Europe, but nowhere else. Weird. So this is, if you're not familiar with Octopath Traveler, there were a couple of videos of it on the channel. And when I say couple, I mean one. But anyway, it has this kind of 2D sprites, but in a 3D world. And that's what their kind of HD 2D idea is. The fact that they're trademarking it suggests that they're intending to make more games, at least with this style, which should be interesting because it actually looks really, really good in practice. It should be pointed out that Octopath Traveler was not... well, no, I suppose it would have been trademarked at that point. But the fact that they're trademarking this particular phrase is interesting. Anyway. Whatever. Okay, Black Death game, A Plague's Tale, or A Plague Tale? I thought it was Plagues. No, it's Plague Tale. Okay, A Plague Tale Innocence has a release date now. It's coming out in May. This game looks really interesting to me, even though it seems like it's going to be very jank, but hopefully it'll turn out well enough. Here is a trailer. I'm just going to turn on audio. That's quite loud. Let's turn that down a bit. Anyway, this Plague Tale, it was announced like a long time ago, and it finally got a trailer last year at E3, but it's kind of like a survival-y thing. Let me full screen this. It's kind of like a survival game in like the shitty part of medieval Europe, I guess, where it's got rats and shit. It does kind of have that whole escort mission thing going on, but I don't know. It seems interesting, and I'm actually kind of excited to play it. Let me turn off audio again. Right. Go away. Metroid Prime 4 development rebooted from scratch. Retro Studios take control. Will start project afresh. So this is news from yesterday. That Nintendo have basically scrapped production on Metroid Prime 4. I believe it was being done by an internal studio. What does it say? Doesn't say. But anyway, one of the Nintendo executives came on the YouTubes to basically say, sorry, Metroid Prime 4 isn't going very well, so we're just going to scrap the whole project and we're going to give it back to the guys who did Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, which were very well received games. So it's bad. It's sad news in that we have to wait even longer for another Metroid game. Although I've been waiting since Super Metroid, so I guess I haven't played anything since then. So I don't mind waiting, but giving it back to Retro Studios is definitely a good move, even if it means having to wait longer. But I think this was fairly well received by the public, in that thanks for being upfront about it, and not just being radio silence for another 9 years or something like certain other studios are known to be doing. GameDev.World aims to be a truly global conference, developer conference even. So this is so you might be familiar with with GDC, which is a game developers conference that's held in the summer months, sometimes in the US, sometimes in Germany, sometimes in various other places, where it's a place where lots of game devs can get together and talk to each other about programming and art and whatever, all that jazz, all the industry stuff we're not meant to know about, we're actually kind of interested in, or at least I am. But of course, you need to buy a ticket, and you need to get time off, and you need to actually get there. So, that's like 3 barriers of entry right there. Whereas this particular GameDev.World is virtual, so it's like Skype and IM and live streams and that kind of thing. So it's definitely opening, making it very, very easy for game devs to chat to each other all at one time. So that's very, very good. And hopefully this takes off. Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC to be tweaked after forced romance backlash. So the latest Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC, I don't want to go too much into spoilers because it is like a post-game thing, but basically throughout the game you had the choice of sort of picking your character's sexual preferences, if you prefer. They could be straight, or they could be bi, or they could be gay, or whatever. But this particular DLC said, well, fuck that, you're straight now, and here's a baby. And players were like, no, I'd rather the game respected my choices, and it didn't. So there was some backlash about that, and now they're changing it, even though it actually doesn't make sense for the game timeline, because the assassins have to come from somewhere. Someone has to have a baby. This is how the human race works. But whatever. It's good that they're changing it. It's good that they're listening to people. How they change it will be interesting, though. PSVR grew the virtual reality market by 30% in 2018 and is expected to keep selling. So, this is very good news. PSVR wasn't expected to do... it was expected to do okay, but it wasn't expected to do quite so well as it has done. You can have down here 500 million in sales was estimated, like 2016, 2017, and it's ended up making like 3.6 billion. So it's doing pretty damn good. So the idea that VR is on the way out and is a fad is not true. There's a couple of titles here listed that make the case for getting a PSVR. Astrobot Rescue is very good. Moss is very good. Beat Saber is incredible, and Resident Evil 7 in VR is also top notch. If you haven't gotten a PSVR, or if you have gotten one, those are some games to check out. But yeah, good news for the VR space. Okay, shitty news. Shitty Facebook news. Now Facebook wouldn't normally make what's the fucking word I want to use? An appearance. It's not the word I want to use, but okay. They wouldn't normally make an appearance on this show that I do because it's not particularly video game industry, but it does kind of fit in here. So Facebook ignored solution to children overspending in games. This isn't necessarily on Facebook, or this particular article is about Facebook, but this more or less goes for every game publisher. So basically, where is it? It's written here somewhere. Oh, sorry. I had it down here somewhere. I'm just going to read the first one. Facebook developed systems to prevent children from spending huge amounts of their parents' money, but then actively decided not to use them. 135 pages show how Facebook targeted children in order to grow its game business, denied refund requests, and encouraged developers to let children spend money without parents' permission, something the company referred to as friendly fraud. Jesus Christ, Facebook. So basically, this is them realizing that kids are impressionable and they want to keep playing the game, and they don't necessarily understand the concept of money, so they just put the money in and keep playing. The parents come back to say, where the fuck is all this money going? Because they understand the concept of money and its impact. And Facebook have basically said, Don't give them refunds. Just give them virtual shit. Because, now, there's a quote here somewhere about that. Yeah. Facebook not only denied refund requests, it encouraged developers to offer free virtual items to children and parents who complained. One employee said this was better than refunding money because virtual goods bear no cost. This is some shitty practice. Anyway, this is from GameIndustry.biz, who don't normally tackle the kind of PR end of things for game industry stuff. They're really more about the behind the scenes things. So they're a good site to follow. But this article goes on for a while, and it's just shitty practices from Facebook, and it's definitely not Facebook who are the only people doing this. Resident Evil Netflix series in development report, or rumor. This should really say rumor. Anyway, so this is a Resident Evil series is in development on Netflix. That's kind of the summation of this entire article. They've got all this shit written about it, but that's all it says. The idea is it will follow the Umbrella Corporation and the fallout from the T-Virus. So this article, at least, and a couple of other articles who've reported on this, are billing it as The Walking Dead, but Resident Evil. And I would say no, please don't do that, because that's not what Resident Evil is about. It's not this kind of, worldwide craziness. It's not a post-apocalyptic thing. If you play any of the other Resident Evils, there are outbreaks, but the whole world doesn't get affected. It's either in Raccoon City, or it's in Tall Oaks, I think it's Resident Evil 6, or it's in China, somewhere in China. I can't remember the name of the city. They're localized things. They have the BSAA to take care of it. They have STARS team to take care of it. It's not this big apocalypse. So, please don't do that. But the Castlevania series that came out is like really close to the game, or at least in tone, even if it's not, in content. So they have a good track record of doing it. But if they're intending to make it like The Walking Dead, I don't want to watch that show. PlayStation Now is coming to further EU territory soon. So, hang on. So here's all the territories. Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Italy, Portugal, Spain will soon be joining. UK, Ireland, France, Germany, Belgium. Good, but also PlayStation Now kind of sucks. So if you're not familiar, PlayStation Now is a streaming service that Sony provide. You can think of it like Netflix, but video games, and outrageously expensive and outrageously shit. Basically, the amount of bandwidth you need to stream Netflix is it's sizable enough, but it's manageable. Vast majority of internet infrastructures can handle it, but the bandwidth and infrastructure you would need to stream video games, like high quality PS3, PS4 level video games, is not there in most countries. Certainly not in my country, even though I'm on the list, Ireland. It's no, it does not work. So it's good that it's coming to more countries, but it doesn't actually work. So okay, so there was a rumor going around that Fallout 76 was going free to play, but Bethesda flat out denies Fallout 76 is going free to play. There is no truth to this rumor spelled wrong. Fine. I mean, I don't think anyone actually believed the rumor. This was more of a wouldn't it be funny if they did it kind of thing. But yeah, they've denied it. It's not going free to play right now. Anyway, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen at some point. Like their other online title, The Elder Scrolls Online, is subscription based. So there's nothing to say that Fallout 76 won't go down that avenue. This rumor came about because some certain retail stores in Australia were removing Fallout 76 from their shelves, probably because it's not selling. That's probably just the end of that. It's taking up shelf space for other things that will sell. So, fine. But, yeah. Anyway, it's not going free to play yet. It might, but not right now. In more Activision being shitty news, Activision is selling a Call of Duty Black Ops 4 smiley face reticle for £1.79, or like €2, or $2, I guess. This is what it looks like on the shop. This is what it looks like in the game. That's what it looks like in the game. Jesus Christ. People spending money on this shit. Okay, one, it's bad enough that they're selling it, but two, why the fuck are you buying it? But anyway, yeah, like, why is this? Like, fine having a legendary reticle. Fuck's sake, this is just dumb. The smiley face is available to buy from the black market, 200 COD points, which cost that. There's no way to obtain it without buying it. Well, that's shitty already. But, I mean, this is the stupidest thing. Anyway, yeah, Activision being shit. Also people buying things that are also shit. But, you know, I don't know what to say about that, to be honest. Layers of Fear 2 gets a new trailer. So, Layers of Fear is a horror game that I want to play but also don't want to play. So, I still have to get around to playing the first one. But they have a new trailer. We're going to play the trailer. Just have a look. I actually haven't seen this, so this should be interesting. I hope there aren't, like, boobs on it.
You'll play your part.
Well, that voice doesn't help, certainly. That's a bit loud. Tone this down a bit.
This place, the life that was to be.
Cool, it's on a ship.
You cannot have it. You can never have it.
Why not? I want it, though. Rats. Stealing shit.
Be yours.
And coffins.
Time marches on. Time waits for no one. Doctor, do not.
Those chairs don't look very comfortable. Well, it's certainly got some atmosphere. I'll give it that. Stop. No, go away. No recommended either. Yeah, it's some voice on the fucking narrator, but yeah, yeah, it's got a lot of atmosphere. I do like the look of that. I still have to play the first one though. All right, that was our last news story. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so that was this week's news. Let me see. Was anyone chatting with me? Nobody was chatting with me. Good. I wasn't ignoring anybody, so that's always fine. Yeah, I can't look at the chat and look at the desktop at the same time, so just FYI in the future if you do decide to send me a message. Yeah, so that was our news. A bit less, or a bit more, no? A bit less on the industry rules and regulations shit this week, but also more of the industry being shitty to everybody also this week. I'm trying to kind of build a bit of a balance on fun news and shitty news, but obviously I'm still restricted on what actually happens during the week. But do let me know if there are particular news things you'd like to see, like if you'd like to see me look at more announcements and trailers and things like that, or if you'd like to see me focusing on companies being shitty, or if you'd like to see me focusing on, you know, wild rumors and speculations and things like that. I don't really know what to balance it with and what people like to see. I just put up the news things that are interesting to me. But if there are news articles that would be interesting to yourself, feel free to send them to me on Twitter, DM me or tag me or whatever, or just let me know in the chat. You know what kind of news things you'd like to see. Otherwise, this has been the news for 20 to 26 January 2019. I was planning on playing a bit more Resident Evil 2 today, but I'm actually not feeling particularly great, so I'm not really up for streaming for another 2 hours and so. But I wanted to get this video out just to keep my, what do you call it? Schedule? No. Habit? Yes. Just to keep the habit going. But yeah, that won't be happening today, sorry. Kingdom Hearts 3 is out next week though, and I do plan to stream that, at least the opening. We're kind of just going to keep going with the new game comes out that I like, and I'm going to play it, and, you know, feel free to join me. Otherwise, next week will be more news. And also it'll be the end of the month next week, so look forward to my games of January for 2019. We'll be looking at Kingdom Hearts 3, which comes out next week, Resident Evil 2, which I'm really enjoying, even though I'm not feeling particularly well. Onimusha HD, Vane, and new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which all have videos on the Twitch channel and on the YouTube channel. Kingdom Hearts 3 will be joining them when it actually comes out and I actually record it. Otherwise, see you next week. Bye bye.